Tallinn used to be surrounded by a city wall, and you see here quite a bit of the wall, and in that wall we had a bunch of towers, this one or that one over there, and of course both the wall and the towers were there for defense purposes. And for medieval times, Tallinn did have a very impressive wall, because they already started building it in 13th century and kind of continuously kept enhancing it until the 16th century. So always making it bigger, better, and it definitely shows you how well Tallinn was doing in medieval times, because if you need a wall like this, you have something to protect, right? And I wanted to show you this tower in particular, because first of all, it has a very fun name. It's called the Keek in the Cook Tower. Does anyone know what it means?
Kitchen.
Yes? Peek in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So indeed, peek in the kitchen or look in the kitchen is the name. And the name comes from Lower German, so it's not in Estonian, although kök is also kitchen in Estonian. But otherwise, it comes from Lower German, and look into the kitchen is the translation, and it comes from the fact, according to the story, that the tower got built so tall that literally the soldiers who were up there could see into the kitchens of Lower Tallinn through the chimneys. So they could see, yes, it is as pervert as it sounds. They could see in the kitchen, see what the people were doing inside and so on. So maybe not the most politically correct name, but if you want to be, more politically correct, you can also say that they could see into the enemy's kitchen or see the enemy from far away.
Why is kitchen, not bedroom one? Like
One room.
Because the chimneys would be in the kitchen usually, so that's why, and they were quite wide, so you could kind of peek in there, but not the bedroom, luckily. But that's the name. But in addition to the fun name, it actually was a very impressive battle tower as well. And it has been hit only one time throughout history, and this one time was by Ivan the Terrible. But if you remember him, then he lost the war, right? And actually, when he arrived in Tallinn, he had almost conquered the whole country. There was just Tallinn and a bit more to go, and Ivan is literally at the bottom of this hill, shooting up here, and there's two towers standing against him, just this and that one over there, that's it. And they managed to push him back. So later on, Ivan goes on to lose the war, and when they were repairing the tower, they thought that first we need to somehow show off that we were so cool in Tallinn that we could beat Ivan the Terrible, and they took his cannonballs and put them inside the walls. So if you look at the middle part, you should see these bumps, right?
Yeah.
These are the cannonballs of Ivan the Terrible in there since 16th century already. So at least my opinion is that it's one of the coolest artifacts in town. Definitely tells you a bit about Estonian character. You know,
Yeah.
always try to show off and try to be better than your neighbors, kind of thing.
So does that mean the tower was only that high at that point?
No, there was just a really big hole in the tower,
okay.
so they were repairing it and then put the cannonballs in.
Okay.
Hence in that place. But the tower originally would have been shorter, indeed, because the original towers, for example, they didn't have roofs. So this one as well has been built in stages. But you see up there as well, there's a bit of a dent. So that one would have been already there. It means that the tower already more or less since 16th century looked like it does nowadays. But yes, that's the tower. Nowadays it's a museum, and inside the tower is a museum, and underneath are some tunnels that are possible to be visited as well. They're called bastion tunnels. They were built for warfare, but they've been used for a lot of things, but mostly not warfare. But it's still quite interesting, and if you're into tunnels, then that's where you can do it. There were actually a lot of them under Tallinn, but they discovered that there's a lot of rare bats and spiders living in them. So this is the only one where you can go in. Others are all closed off for visitors. But I'm not sure you want to go with the bats and the spiders anyhow, so...
Would have been a lovely news article. We found rare spiders that we cannot kill living under your home.
Exactly. But we'll go now.
Is there anything in the other tower?
Nowadays, yeah, there's also a museum/cafe, and I know you can get a ticket, like a combined ticket, so you can visit this one and then walk on the wall a bit and visit the other one as well. So yeah, you can walk on the wall. It's like walking on walls. Then that's where you can do it. Any other questions? Okay, then we'll kind of go back inside the walls of the old town, and I will just give you a heads up that at one